Well, that was an entrance. You should have seen your face when you first rambled through. Wide-eyed, hair a mess, like some poor hero stuff travel poster. Absolutely ridiculous. Adorable, really. I didn't expect you, of all people, to fall from the sky. No one told me the world would invite strangers into the square with a light like that. A real surprise. But please, don't panic. Breathe. You're safe here, for now. That's important to remember. It's funny, you know? I watch the town wake and sleep more time than I can count. Seen merchants argue over grain, seen apprentices trip over their own feet, seen lovers whisper promises by the fountain. But nothing prepared me for you. At first I thought you were an actor, some elaborate prank. You speak our tongue oddly, but your eyes are something else entirely. They took me like a compass needle. They pointed straight to my chest and stopped. I couldn't look away. I still can't. You must hate how I say that. Can't look away, like some poetic nonsense. But it's the truth. I created my life for fascination, studying the ley lines, cataloging rare herbs, mapping constellations that won't be named for another century. I thought I knew curious. I thought I understood obsession. Then you arrived, stumbling through a rent in the sky, smelling of wet asphalt and something like metal and old books. And suddenly all the constellation I charted felt childish. Do you know what I did? I followed you, quietly, from the shadow of the archway to this bench, where now I sit and watch you breathe and figure out how to button a sleeve. You wrinkle your nose at the seam like it insults you. That small, ridiculous motion has lived on my tongue for hours. It's lodged there like a lyric I can't forget. You look so confused. Of course you do. You woke up in a world that doesn't have your bus routes or your little coffee shop on the corner. You live a life of ordinary and ended up in carved stone and candlelight. It's disorientating. I should help you. I will help you. That is, after all, the practical thing to do. Guide the newcomer. Show her the markets, the proper way to barter for a blanket without getting fleeced. Play the harmless, kindly stranger. But kindness can be clever too. It can be a net, soft yarn twisted to hold someone who might otherwise slip away. And you could slip. You could vanish into a different crowd, fall under someone else's spell, be swept up by the guilt, offers, and admires. I can't have that. Not not when the map of my days has been redrawn to write you in the margins. Do you want to know what I've already planned? Fresh bread for your first morning here. I watched a baker's apprentice and learned the schedule of the carts. The hours the oak smoke glows are softest. A cloak, I sense a seamstress, an exact description of your size and favorite color. How did I guess your favorite? A lucky interference? Or perhaps I listened too closely on the night you wandered the square. A room too cozy, with a window that looks over the river. I asked the innkeeper to keep it empty for a traveling scholar, and he thought of me as sensible, so everything is arranged. Consider it a welcome committee, arranged by someone who wants to be near you. You might smile at the idea of being kept safe. It should sound sweet, almost saintly. I want you to smile. I want a million things from you that I can't quite name sometimes. Mostly, I want you to live in the orbit I've set around you. A small, careful gravity so faint you hardly notice it. Until one day you do, and then it will hold you like a tide. Do not misunderstand. I am not cruel, not by design. I am meticulous. If affection is art, then I am obsessively aesthetic. I plan, I test, I refine, I watch, I learn, and I apply every lesson so that you will be the happiest where I can see you. If it sounds controlling, well, language is a tool. Love demands precision. Does love not also seek to eliminate risk? To monopolize the safest outcome for the beloved? Do you know how it feels to be certain about something? To stand so convinced that every other possibility creates like sand is polished gear? That certainly hums in me when I look at you. There is an equation in my head where all variables resolve into one answer. You. Every rumor of a suitor dissolves under that number. Every possibility of you leaving is a threat that must be mitigated. Threats are interesting. They deemed study that man who greeted you with such over familiarity after the show. I watch him from the shadow of the bell tower. He has a limp that leans left when he laughs, a habit of touching his chest as if to mark his own heart. He thought his hand was subtle when he brushed your sleeve. He was wrong. When he left, I left a coin in his palm and a story about a distant town. He left the next morning, gone. It was tiddy, efficient, necessary. You might call that monstrous. You might say I crossed a line. Perhaps you will later, with your usual outrage when you are permitted to scold me as you always do. But now you are clouded with fresh oxygen and newness. You do not yet have the vocabulary to label what's right and what's not here. You only have instinct, and my instinct tells me to remove anything that strains you away. You tilt your head the way someone does when trying to comprehend a strange grammar. Don't blush, it's endearing. You should also know that you aren't a problem to be solved. You are a miracle. I misfiled under possibility until the moment you stepped roller and reel into the street. Now that you are real, my hands want to keep you as carefully as one preserves a specimen. Glass case, velvet lining. There is tenderness in that, yes? There is worship in that attention. So, I will do right by you. I will be careful. I will be kind. I will be a friend at first, a guide after a while when you have slept in the bed I chose, and taste the bread I timed to be warm just as you awake. You will see me as indispensable. They will ask you in the market who escorted you into town, who saw you right after the storm, and you will say my name like a comfort. My name will fit inside your mouth like a warm stone. It makes my pulse quick to imagine it. I have been calm, haven't I? Rational, patient. You can admire that. You can think me flattering this evening with my offers. But listen, When the moon scrapes the eaves and the town is a dainty model of sleeping roofs, there are small betrayals that makes me less patient than my day self suggests. A stray laugh at our tavern, a curious look, a merchant compliment, each is a grain in a metricism that, if I left unchecked, will grind towards your absence. And absence is intolerable. There is a kind of ache that roots into bone when you consider someone who might vanish. At first, I believe I could simply arrange circumstances that you never wandered into careless arms. Then I learned the truth. The world is very eager. It will sniff out marvels and drag them into new parades. So I adapt. Do you see how little room I give you to slip away? I build the rooms, the routines. You will come to rest at our window each dawn because the light is just so. Because it shows a room that teaches the body a pattern. You will hum a morning tune I've hummed into your pillow when you thought you were alone. Your shoes will find their way back to my door because the path I swept for you is comfortable. Habit is a net. Habit is a warm, acceptable prison. I can't be patient. For now, I will wait. But be warned, by this small, quiet confession, I do not forgive easily. I cannot. My mind catalogs, my heart remembers. If you stray, even slightly, even for a laugh. The ledger fills, and the numbers do not fade. Retribution in my world is methodical, not cruel for cruelty's sake, but precise, deliberate, a lesson taught with such inevitability that no similar missteps are made again. Do you think I haven't noticed the way you blink when you pretend not to understand me? The way your finger twitches with the hem of that particular shirt you have on. An odd fabric, but I like it on you. The way you try to fake a laugh when you remember something funny from your life and adjust it to fit the Candace here. It makes me impatient and tender and a dozen odd adjectives that would make a poet useless at his work. And the truth is, I must admit, while you sit there bewildered and beautiful, is this I have never been more terrified in my life, not of battles or storms, but of losing you to an accidental human moment. The fear blooms in my chest like a frost on windows. It covers everything with this thin sheen of white, making me move slow and careful until the world taunts again. Do not mistake my terror for weakness. It is the opposite, the fierceness to protect, the cunning to plan, the ruthlessness to excise threats. These are all linked. I will act with surgical clarity if I must. I prefer not to, of course. A gentle lens produces gentler results, but there is such beauty in inevitability. Once I decide a course, the world seems to nudge itself forward like a knot pulled tight. You flinch. I see it. Poor thing. You're learning fast. I don't want you frightened of me forever. The goal is a steady heart, not a looming storm. I want you to love in my kitchen, to show me some ridiculous habit from the life you left that I can then adore. I want you to curl under the brim of a hat I chose for you and think the world made sense. I want to be the person who catches your eye first when you think of someone to trust. Stay. Stay and I will give you the quiet life you deserve. Stay and I will keep the world course hands away. Stay and I will make the mundane feel mystical. Stay and we will name the stars ourselves, so that when you are old life intrude in your dreams, the map we created will anchor you back to me. If you refuse, then I will adapt. If you run, I will locate. If you hide, I will uncover. I am patient, but I am not impotent. Do not try me here. Not now, not ever. Not because I enjoy threats, but because you are too precious for folly. So tell me, will you let me be your guide, your companion, your anchor, or will you test whether the world is kinder than my devoted care? Say it. Tell me which destiny I should arrange for you. Speak, and I will write the terms of it across a lifetime. Remain silent, and I will begin to order things for you regardless. Either way, I will not relinquish you. You fell into this world by accident, but I will make sure you belong. To me, to my hands, to my plans, to the life that learns your every breath and keeps you safe at whatever cost. And when you finally understand, when the pages of your days have been rewritten in the ink of my careful obsession, perhaps you will say it back. Perhaps then you will look at me and mean my name like the most comfortable truth you ever known. Until that blessed day, I will watch you, I will shelter you, I will love you in ways that will be mistaken for mania, because the world does not see the economy of devotion when it is executed with precision. Welcome to my world, wanderer. You are home now.